Good day, everyone. I hope you all had a super duper Sunday. My Sunday was pretty good. I had to go into work today. Um, those of you who watched my previous vlog, I wound up not filming the other part of my clip last night, so I'm going to throw it in here, but let me go ahead and recap Sunday first. I had to go into work today because January 31st is the first day of the 30 days preceding March 1st. Um, so, and because I'm starting the new job, and also it's officially my first day full time, even though it wasn't full time because Sunday is only a 4 hour day. So, but officially, that's what it was. And so I got a little bit of a better idea of what's going to go down. I will only be at Central for another 2 weeks. Um, the 15th of February will be my first day officially based in the East Branch. I will be going this week, however, and on Thursday I'll be working a morning shift, a day shift over there. I guess they want me to get in there, actually talk to me before I start, whatever reasons they had. But it's like Central was holding on to me, and it looks like the 2 weeks are as far as they can go with that. So, yeah. Clicking noises and stuff. So it went well today. It was weird. I was on my off weekend, and they had they're fully staffed Sunday clerks there. Basically, we're short a page though, so one of the clerks volunteered to go out and act as a page for about half the shift, and then a different clerk went out the rest of the time to act as a page. I just kind of was there, helping out with everything that needed to be done. Got a glimpse at my schedule, although she didn't actually post it again before the end of the day, so all I got was a glimpse at it. I don't exactly remember what it was specifically. I think it was very similar to this week. I'm working most of the day, but closing on Monday, working a morning on Tuesday, and Wednesday and Thursday. And then, of course, my weekend off will be that second week. So this upcoming weekend, next week will be my weekend on again. The following will be weekend off. And that'll also be the end of my time at Central. And then I'm going to be switching weekends. And so that means I get a second weekend in a row off. That weekend too. So basically, should be okay. Just be different. And then after that, did Think Orange, went off pretty much without a hitch, and came home. Watched an episode of Ninja Turtles, the latest episode. Started trying to catch up on some of my YouTube videos. Ooh. And decided I was going to pull this out, film the clip, the vlog for the day, and then go out there and watch Gallivant. Haven't watched that yet. And I think it might be the season finale. Those things don't last very long. But it's entertaining. Pretty funny. Anyway, let's get down to the meat of this, and that is part 2 of my Mafia vlog from yesterday. And so what happened was I skipped what I thought was one game, and I realized after that it was actually 2 games. So we played 5 games. In yesterday's video, I kind of just skipped the first one. I couldn't remember any details from it. Really, it was kind of vague. I'm still not getting anything jumping out at me from that one. And then I skipped and went to the last 2 games we played. The first one being very short, and the second one being very crazy all over the place, which happened because I was sitting out the game because I was killed the first night by Mafia. Anywho, so let's go back to games 2 and 3. I'm just going to recap those. Try to do it quickly. In game number 2, I was a silencer. And we had a brand new moderator, never moderated before. And I'm not sure if the firm grasp of the game is there for that particular individual. Kept making all sorts of mistakes. So it was a wild ride through this game, to say the least. I was a silencer, like I said, and he forgot to announce who was silenced. And so I got distracted by a thing on my screen popping up. So he forgot to announce that someone was silenced, so that person didn't get silenced that round. The next night, I tried to silence someone else, and he thought I was someone. He confirmed it was who I wanted. This person has the same name as someone else, but they don't use it the same way, and so he wrote down the short version of his name, which is what the other person uses, but this person uses the full version of his name, and so he silenced the wrong person. And so basically, what it started coming down to was the other mafia were sitting. Two of them were sitting right across from me. One of them was right next to me. No, yeah, one of them was right next to me, and then we had a couple across the room in awkward positions. So I don't remember all the details. I remember a lot of crazy. It's really hard to pin down how the gameplay progressed because of that craziness. But there were points where I was going up. I was actually accusing, not just seconding, but accusing my own teammates because there were mistakes that were made. I thought that I felt I had to call out because I would have called it out as a townsperson. And they didn't hold that against me or anything like that. But I believe it came down to the fact that we started with 14 people and there were 6 mafia. There should have been 4, maybe 5 tops, probably 3 or 4 mafia. There were 6 mafia. And all the mistakes that were being made, some of them didn't help the mafia, but there was no gunsmith. He's making mistakes that hurt the town too. So it came down to the game, of course, falling into the hands of the mafia pretty solidly. And yeah, just kind of it was a crazy game to go through, and I can't remember the details much more than that, just that it happened a lot. I will go back to game 1. I just remembered something in the first game that did happen, and that was that the town was actually at a pretty close to losing the game. I was town in that first game, and town did win. I will confirm the town did win. But the town came pretty close to losing for a while there. We were shrinking in numbers, just lynching the wrong people every time. And every single time just kept lynching the wrong people. And then finally, someone in the game did something, I forget what his role was, but in using his role effectively, he managed to turn things around and managed to knock off the mafia 3-2-1. And it was 5-3 town. And then doop doop doop, like boom boom boom. Jesse described it as he literally dragged the entire town on his back across the finish line. And it was pretty good, pretty accurate statement to make for that. Game number 3 that we played, our moderator was someone who likes to screw around with us a little bit and just like see how far he can stretch some of these rules in the game and roles in the game to make it work. And I was, in that round, I was a tracker. I believe I was a tracker. Yes, I was a tracker. And I made a huge mistake at one point. So on the very first night, and it just literally just clicked back in, and I'm going to go ahead and give you the game now, because I just put my brain in the right spot. So during the first night, I thought I heard some movement right next to me. I heard some movement, maybe some whispering even, and I don't know if she was playing that up to try to do that or not. If she was, it was pretty brilliant and done well, because I was curious enough to track her the first night. I was told no. She did not visit anyone at night, which means she doesn't have a role that's active, an active role that does something. So she's innocent, so she's not Mafia, so I won't consider her. The next night, I tracked um, someone. Well, in the town during the day, they started going after someone who wound up being Batman, and he convinced the rest of the town that he was Batman. But because I was silenced the first day, so I couldn't say anything. So in my silence, I heard someone say something that to me, in my overanalyzing mind, meant that he could be saying that he's Batman. So the other person that says Batman might not be. And so I believed him. Everyone else didn't hear him and went with that. And so we went to a vote to lynch Batman, and the only person who voted was me. I voted. I was like, whoa. But because I was able to look around and see that I was the only one who voted, no one else voted, I knew that the real Batman would have voted, which meant the real Batman was him. So that solidified me on his role as Batman. So what happens next is during the night, there's a seduction with the seducer, which basically role blocks someone, makes it so they can't wake up and do their role. And there was also the Yakuza strike. So what do is I track the person that I was suspicious of that's sitting right next to Batman. And I'm told that he visited Batman during the night. And so I'm like, alright, so part of me, I was hung up on the Yakuza thing. So I was like, so was he the Yakuza? Was he not the Yakuza? I forgot that a Yakuza striking would mean that there'd be two people pointed at, just like a seducer would have done the same thing. A framer and a silencer all would have had two people pointed to if I investigated them. But because I was thinking maybe he's the Yakuza, I was like, okay, now how do I handle this? Then Batman says he was seduced. I suddenly forget everything about the Yakuza completely, and I go, he was seduced, he visited him, so he is the seducer, and Batman was seduced. Boom. I come out, I accuse him, I haven't considered anything else. To be fair, he doesn't give a very good defense, and should have given a defense that unfortunately revealed his role. He was actually the cop. I got the whole town behind me to kill the cop that I thought was Mafia. And it was a complete brain fart on my part. I should have seen around that. Shouldn't have made that mistake. So now I'm thinking, how do I get the rest of the town to believe me again? They're going to think I'm whatever. The next night, I'm seduced. Thank you, seducer. You just put me in the clear. So I'm back to being clearly not turned. And so basically we whittle down numbers little by little by little. And we have Batman, myself, the person sitting next to me is the gunsmith, and she gives me a gun after the Yakuza strike, which tells me she is still the gunsmith. The gunsmith is still out there. So the three of us are cleared. We get down to three other people, Jesse and two other people down there, one who is a nurse and one who claims to be a cop. Or no, 5 people actually, and the person sitting right off to my left as well. And so suddenly people start looking at this person, and I'm saying that I can't confirm. I can say that she was cleared the first night, but the Yakuza struck after that, so I don't know. And so we were considering lynching her. And Jesse has a gun. He decides he's going to go ahead, because the gunsmith tells him to, go ahead and shoot her. Boom, shoot her, bang. She is actually the fool. And Jesse just saved the entire game from ending. So that's another thing that, again, redeems Jesse in my eyes to the point where I think he's Mafia. Or he's not Mafia. So then someone else comes out to, and we go after him. We're not sure. It turns out he actually was the person who was turned by the Mafia. But the game's not over. But he uses his gun and shoots Batman. So now we're down to 4 people. And so it comes down to myself and the gunsmith. We both know we're clear. and the game's not over, so there's another Mafia that let us slip by. Someone was claiming to be the nurse, and Jesse was claiming to be not Mafia, but nothing else. And so I call out during the night that the nurse should save me. The gunsmith should give me a gun, or the gunsmith does give me a gun. So I'm like, the nurse, you should save me. That way I, as the tracker, can track the other person, who I mean it's Jesse, and find out what happens. And so I figure Jesse might go after me. Yikes. And he almost does, he says. He tells me later he almost does. But then he switches over and goes after him. And the gunsmith dies. Or a death happens. The nurse saves someone. We wake up. Or I track Jesse. He visited the gunsmith. We wake up. Gunsmith's dead. I have a gun. So I just straight up shoot Jesse to end the game. Boom. Town wins. Later found out the nurse, in fact, did not save me, and I was a sitting duck, and Jesse could have taken me out, and then the gun would have been lost, and we still might have won, but it would have been kind of close and a little bit too tight, and not ideal. But at any rate, that's game number 3, and then 4 was really short, 5 was a big mess, but I already told you about those in the previous vlog, so I'm going to leave that alone. Tomorrow I'm working at the library, an 8-hour shift starting at 11:30. 8.5-hour shift starting at 11:30. It's a 30-minute unpaid lunch in there, so 8-hour shifts are always 8.5 hours. Going all the way to 8 o'clock. So it's the first time I've worked that particular shift. It'll be long. It'll seem long, probably, I imagine, because it'll be going from light to dark outside. Something that hasn't happened yet in my time there. But that's all cool. No, it has happened. When I work 4 to 8, it happens. I don't know what I'm saying. Blah. Time to end this vlog. Sorry, guys. I'm going crazy. Good night, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.